what attracted you to this role?
Well, for me, my son was born on Christmas Day. So I had never done a Christmas movie. I'd worked with Swirl Films on a bunch of projects, and so they asked me if I'd be interested in doing a movie that took place in the Christmas vein, a Christmas movie. And I was like, I have to do a Christmas movie because my son was born on Christmas, so yes. And I just love the script. I love that it wasn't a typical, it wasn't a typical resolution. It was more about the dynamics of finding peace with her ex-husband and him doing the right thing and the evolution of the relationship with Alec, but it wasn't necessarily like a cute buttoned and they lived happily ever after type of resolution, which I actually really liked. What about you, Stephen? Was it me?
Yeah, it was definitely working with Essence. Well, actually, that was part of it. I had worked with Essence on a different project prior to Coins for Christmas, and we got pretty tight on the set, and I really enjoyed conversation with her. My daughter was just an idea at the time, and but we talked about a lot of stuff, and we had known each other a little bit before, so I thought it would be a good idea, a good opportunity to work. Because in the other project, we didn't work much together. We were in it, but we weren't opposite each other. So I thought it would be a cool idea to, and a cool opportunity to work with her. And much like her, I hadn't done a Christmas movie before, and I wanted to do one. I had seen them. Every Christmas people are getting a chance to do it, and they're coming into the living rooms and theaters, on Christmas time. And I was like, man, that's a cool time of year to be able to do that, and so when I got the opportunity, I jumped at it. And then this one being the sequel, obviously, we're putting the band back together, as we say in the film. So obviously that one was a no-brainer.
Right. That's cool. And so would you say that the two of you were friends before? You said you worked on a project, but you didn't really work together. But so you were sort of already friends?
Yeah, we worked on a project in Puerto Rico called Girlfriend's Getaway 2, which was another film that was a sequel to a popular TV movie that we did. And Stephen was the leading man opposite Garcelle Bouvet. And so, we were in Puerto Rico, all of us together, along with Terry Vaughn and Melinda Williams. And we just all had a great experience. We spent a lot of time together, even when the cameras weren't rolling. We explored together, we went eating together, and enjoyed Puerto Rico together. So we became close. I mean, that's the thing about working for, on location. A lot of times you will form a bond because you're in a new terrain, a new territory together. And so you navigate it as a group, as a village.
Well, yeah, that must have been a lot of fun.
It was.
Wow. So, Stephen, did you enjoy playing the opinionated, sort of combative sports athlete type? Because you played it very well.
Yeah, it's so far removed from who I am as a person. It's
she's laughing. Uh-oh.
Well, I mean, I am an ex-professional athlete, and I have been known to have an opinion or two.
Right.
So I like to believe that the self-absorption isn't quite as prevalent with me as it is with Alec. But it was fun being able to play that role uninhibited, unbridled self-absorption from Alec was fun to do, because that's the diva athlete that we see in the news a lot, that it's fun to watch, and it was fun to play, and you get a little bit of the sense of the freedom that they have to just say and do whatever they want. So it was fun, but it definitely was a bit of a stretch for me, other than the fact that I was an athlete and you know, I had some of the sensibilities of an athlete, so I knew where he was coming from.
Right. I do remember reading you played baseball for the Atlanta
and Baltimore.
Wow. Yeah. Well, how did you transition from sports to acting?
I took a drama course in college, so it was something that I knew that I wanted to do after baseball was over. And when I got released by Baltimore, I just decided that was the time to make the move. So I threw all my stuff in a car and drove to Los Angeles. And next thing you know, I'm on set with Essence Atkins.
Just like that.
Living the dream.
Living
the dream. But no, that's how it happened though. I just decided, I knew I wanted to do it, and when it was time, it was time.
Wow, good for you. It doesn't happen like that for a lot of people. So, Essence, tell me how you relate to this character, this struggling mom. I know you're a mom of a son, and I'm sure that your work takes you away a lot. And this character, Madison, her work took her away from her kids a lot. So tell me how you related to her, and how maybe you're similar to her, and how maybe you're not similar to her.
I think that in terms of our philosophies as mothers, Madison and I are kindred spirits. It's kind of a Malcolm X position of by any means necessary. Like, whatever we need to do for our children to thrive, for our children to be acknowledged, for our children to have opportunity, we're going to do. If we have to eat crow, we will. If we have to work hard, we will. If we have to work multiple jobs, we will. If we need to have tough conversations, we will. So I think in that respect, we are very, very similar. And, just the idea of being a parent who loves their kid and yet still has their own ambitions, because Madison wants to be an editor. I mean, that's her dream. So she still has a career and an ambition and a story beyond just loving her kids. And it's trying to find the balance. And I don't think that it's just me who relates to that story. I think anyone who has children and still has passions outside that pertain to a career, I think you're constantly in a bit of a tug of war over what to prioritize and when. And sometimes you have to make these very hard lines for the sake of one or the other. And there's great sacrifice involved. I mean, like, as you mentioned, I do have a son, and last year when I was working on Ambitions, we shot in Atlanta, and my son was in school, so it wasn't possible to bring him with me without disrupting his routine. So I was away from him for 8 months, and I got on a plane every 2 weeks. Sometimes
8 months? Oh my God.
Yeah, I got on a plane every 2 weeks, sometimes for less than 48 hours, but I did it because I wanted to see him, and I knew that it was easier for me to come to him than it would have been for him to come to me. So, and I missed some things. I missed some things that I had never missed before, and that was challenging, and that was difficult on both of us. But, I think that we do those things to better ourselves, in the understanding that bettering ourselves creates a better spirit for us to be able to pour into our children.
Right. What types of things did you miss?
Oh, my son studies martial arts, and I missed one of his belt promotion ceremonies. I wasn't able to come. I had to work. They moved when he advanced to the next belt, his belt ceremonies went from Saturdays to Fridays, and I had to work that Friday, so there was no way for me to make it. And I had never missed a belt ceremony ever in the 4 years that he'd been taking martial arts, so that was one of those moments where I was like, oh, and I missed his first day of second grade. I missed his first day as well. So yeah.
Oh.
There were some things that I cried over for sure.
Aww. So Stephen, how is your work-life balance? How old is you have a newborn, or?
No, she's 2.5 now. I have a 13-year-old and a 2.5-year-old, and it wasn't as difficult for me to be gone because I had the home life was solid. So she, Charlie is my daughter's name. She's not in school yet, so the things that I was missing, if anything, was really minimal. I mean, we were on FaceTime every day and every night, so I was getting to see if she learned a new word. I was getting to hear it that day. She wasn't involved much in anything that I had to be at a certain place to see, or that was a once in a lifetime thing, like the belt promotions and things like that. And baseball season wasn't really in swing yet, so my son and I wasn't missing any baseball games or anything like that. There were some practices and stuff.
Oh, okay.
But for the most part, this was a fairly good shoot. There have been other ones where I've been out of town, where baseball games where I was a coach of the baseball team and had to watch the game from the camera that's mounted at the field, and be calling my assistant coach on the phone. What are you doing? Don't put him in this position. Put him in another position. But fortunately, it's been a pretty good situation for me where I haven't really missed too much. But I definitely empathize with what Essence goes through, because I know that there have been times where I've wanted to be here and I haven't been able to. And hopefully those are few and far between. But I know that it's just kind of inevitable when you're in this business and you have to be on location.
Right. So I wanted to ask both of you, what do you expect audience to take away from this film? What do you want audiences to learn or take away from this?
Stephen, what do you want people to learn?
From both.
Well, I mean, I would like to, people to see that if you meet good people in your life, that your circumstances can get better, your outlook on life can change, and for the better. I think that Alec has done a lot of growing through meeting Madison, and I think that he's even starting to like himself more. I think that people are starting to notice his changes, and he himself is starting to notice as well. And I think that he's beginning to enjoy, as he said in the first film, doing for other people, and thinking about other people's desires and agendas before his own. So I'd like people to take that good relationships and good people in your life can make your life better and make you a better person.
Very good.
I love that. That's really beautiful. And I think, I mean, just to piggyback on what Stephen said, I believe that's true. And it's not just true on screen in a story. I think that's true in real life. I think that the people in your life that challenge you to be better, and inspire you to be better, not just in a way that is chastising, right? Madison doesn't often correct in words. She causes him to have reflection based on her own selflessness, right? Her own work ethic, her own ambition, but at the same time, her own kind of kindness. And I think that oftentimes, that is the best teacher, is when you're watching someone execute in excellence, when you're watching someone live out the things that the principles that they can espouse to, that they're pontificating about. I think that is really motivating. And I love that it has, it's a contagious effect, and that it has a rippling effect. I mean, Alec, at the end of the first movie, he shows up at the home where I work, right? And he brings so much joy as a professional athlete to the kids that are there, and they so appreciate that. And so you just, I think there's a rippling effect of kindness that you see in this movie.
Right. I love that. And was there anything else you guys wanted to add about maybe your upcoming projects? Maybe.
Just right now I'm in a holding pattern. I booked a movie 2 days before everything shut down. I booked
right.
I booked a Netflix movie, and now that's like completely on the back burner, and because it was shooting in Canada, and then which was actually another Christmas movie, believe it or not, and then it's an interesting time. So until it's safe,
right?
I think that we're all kind of waiting to see what is next. But this is a forced reset for a lot of us.
Yeah, I had a similar situation. I booked a pilot, and fortunately we shot the pilot in December.
Yeah.
And the pilot got picked up. We were supposed to be shooting the series now in New York.
Yeah.
So obviously for obvious reasons we're on hold and waiting, and
that's not happening anytime soon.
Not anytime soon. So but fortunately we got this one in the can, and we have something that'll come out in the middle of this pandemic, and hopefully bring some relief and some laughter and some joy to some people who may not be experiencing a lot of it in the moment. And then, God willing, we can get back, and if everybody does the right thing, and people stop being obtuse and put on a mask and stay away from each other when they can.
Yeah.
So that everybody can get back to work and back to school and all that, we'll be all right.
Yeah, so it's a nice movie. It's not too cutesy. I enjoyed watching it.
Oh, thank you.
Just like you said, it's something positive in these crazy times.
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna let you two go.
Well, thank you so much. We appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah.
No, thanks for having me.